My name is Jim Wolff. I'm a retired Delgado faculty member. Spent 43 years as an employee at Delgado in different programs and departments. Came onto this campus at Delgado in 1968 when it was still under the City of New Orleans management system, and then shortly thereafter under Dr. Thames, who was the president at the time, and came into the Rehabilitation Center, the Weiss Rehabilitation Center, which I think is now the Allied Health Program. So that was my introduction. I was recruited from a job in Battle Creek, Michigan. I worked for the federal government in a psychiatric hospital. So my training was very much with what they were doing in the Rehabilitation Center, which was at the height of the Vietnam War. So that was my first employment and introduction to Delgado. Knew nothing about Delgado when I was in Michigan. I think in 1968 I was just a pup. I wanted to get away from the cold and the snow in Michigan, and the South was appealing to me. It was warm. The opportunity to work with people returning from the war. I was working with them really in a psychiatric hospital setting there, and then coming onto the campus and being able to do, I was called a vocational evaluator at that time. So we worked with people with disabilities, and that was appealing to me, and I was able to change my expertise along the way. Had to learn to communicate with deaf people. Had to learn a different language. So I think that young and exciting and new challenges, and so that was really what I'd like to do. 43 years. Of that time, I was in the classroom maybe 15 years with various programs. We had a division called the Regional Education Center for the Deaf. I spent 10 years in a pilot program funded by the federal government that worked with hearing impaired students. We were the first program, one of the first programs in the country to mainstream deaf students from various secondary schools in the country into the college. So we had about 20 employees, and half of us had academic duties. We did evaluations, we did assessments, we taught technical courses in mathematics, and then if they were good potential students, we would move them on into the college. And this was a program that was supported by Dr. Thames. And we had, at that time, maybe a $500,000 budget that was right from the federal government. And so that program stayed in existence until the early 80s, until Ronald Reagan's tour of duty. And then from that, I taught some mathematics with those deaf students. And after that, then I actually was transferred. The program lost its funding, and the University of Tennessee picked up the program. And